Anyway, the first part of the program I enjoyed. The second part of the program you are going to suffer. Okay? I must thank first probably your principal for initiating this invitation. I was there in North Bengal University last 2 days talking to philosophy programs. I had 2 programs. One was a study circle program talking about general philosophy probably. And then yesterday we had on critical thinking. That was World Philosophy Day. So I was a speaker for both. Because of Arunima Bhattacharya, whom I know through webinar. I was part of ICPR in many programs, Indian Council of Philosophical Research. So I know your principal also is a philosophy man. And he got a small contact with Anurima in the campus. And accidentally she mentioned that there is a program, invitation was given. So your principal found, somebody from his place, we belong to neighboring districts in Kerala. So as a courtesy, probably he would have thought, let me also show my status in. Correct. And he introduced another vice principal. He is also from Vaikam, where my cousin sister got married. I was there last month. So Kerala people have got a great connection. There is a saying, even if you go to moon, when you land in moon, there will be somebody who is selling chai and who is a Kerala. Correct. But today the situation changed. If you go to Kerala, you will see more Bangla people. The days are not far. The Kerala Malayalam language bus board will change into Bangla.
Bangla.
Because
Bangla.
yeah, Bangla. The Bangla. The Bangla.
It will become Mangla.
Yeah. It will become Bangla. There are beautiful movies if you want to see. Where mix of Bangla people coming and settling, creating chaos, problems. And how Kerala people got confused. Right? A beautiful movies. I'm into movies. I love movies. Every day we see a lot of movies. The other day in my critical thinking, I only quoted one movie, that is PK. Yes. The whole PK movie is full of critical thinking. Right. So I don't think I have anything to add more than what Professor Das already spoke. And actually the title itself is a big mistake. You must ask how many communication we had with he is the man who started communicating physics. Where is Digvijay? Yeah. Did I not tell I don't know anything about astronomy or not? You open your chat box, you will see.
You didn't mention about astronomy.
I told no, don't. I don't know anything. So cruel, no?
No. Thing is like that, one who knows much about the thing.
By mistake, I have removed the chat. But if he has courage, otherwise I will get that the service provider.
Okay, can you please? We got the essence.
Yeah, I know little of astrology because I studied 30 years. I am from Kerala, so naturally we belong to a system in which my path was not going as predicted. You understood? Astrologers predicted I will be a great man. But then I was thrown out from a school when I was in 8th class, being the worst student.
Notorious.
Yeah, very notorious. 10th class, I am a second class. I failed in all subjects, including mathematics. The most easiest subject is mathematics, right? And I failed in that. English only, English also I failed. I think Malayalam I passed. So my brother decided he is good to write some Malayalam poems. Because you don't get any job, you do poetry, right? Most depressed stage, that is where you write poems. It's a spontaneous overflow of emotions of, who said that? Who said that? She is nodding and you only. No, as if I know. Then tell me who said that. Now you refer. Half portion is got, anybody can Google, right? Earlier in our childhood we don't know we do this. Now you don't know do this. You get answers. Right. I am closely connected to, I love somebody sitting here and then taking photographs because I love me myself. See, it's good, no? Every day I change my color's dress and I trim myself. Last 30 years I did not meet a barber. I trim myself. I'll give you a better picture.
Well maintained.
And no weight less or more, plus or minus 1. 30 years, 60 kilogram. No disease so far. Never been to doctor. No single day I was out of classrooms.
It's a myth.
Yeah. I like to teach because I enjoy. I don't care whether you
Like it or not.
whether you suffer or not. Correct. But I assure you will not suffer. But it becomes useful, I will be happy. Right? The use comes only when you have a pen and paper. Especially math students. I don't believe in listening to classes. I believe in writing classes. I started my job as a plus man. I was in Times of India. I got a job. I did not accept. My cousin became a Times of India man. He was the chief of Times of India who started Times of India in Hyderabad. Because I thought it's better not to write on somebody else, make others to write on me. Correct, that's journalism. I love going around, but why I said the first part was good because you are called Subba or the first name is Derodatta. Wonderful job. I enjoyed the whole introduction on me. But if my wife would have been beside me, what is this? Don't tell me. You are good for all these are forgotten. See, what I do is, I have a point called the philosophy book. A philosophical discussion with my students. You know, most of you are on Facebook. How many of you are on Facebook? Yeah, you are not on your notebook, but you are on Facebook. I'm sure. The Facebook had a grandfather who is called Orkut.
Yes.
I started my social media programs with Orkut. Probably the only one who produced a book out of Orkut discussions. I produced a book where students will ask questions, I will answer. All those questions and answers are made into a book form. And that's a wonder book. The reason is, many people come with a problem to me because I'm a psychotherapist. And I tell them, you open this book and you read. It's like a Bible. And you get an answer for that problem. So far I never failed. Right? Because that contains a lot of problems with the people who are around us. You have concentration problem, open the book, you will get something on concentration only. Because it covers variety of subjects. Because all problems of people. I did not write anything philosophical. Though it's called a philosophical discussions on Orkut. All books are free. You can download it from my website. Remember DrTPS. I'm sure you cannot forget at the end of the day. DR for doctor. TPS, I was a scientist in space department. Temperature, pressure, second. Right? But then, I don't know how much you understood while reading my biodata. The last part was, in my service in 2009, before retirement, I was with Manmohan Singh. You know Manmohan Singh, right?
Yes.
So I was deputy director in his office. I was a raw deputy director. So I'm from military intelligence. So I'm not a policeman, not a military fellow. I was into securities. So I know every inch of your border. Understood? And probably outside the border much more than what I know India. So during that time, I had great opportunity to write books because we don't have much job. All officers should give job to others. That is the biggest job in government. Right? We do postman's job. Somebody sends some request, we will write somebody's name and send it. That's it. So it's a postman's job, right? Handing over. That's what I do. For 96 signature, I was paid probably large amount. Then I felt bored. I should not cheat government like this. For small signatures, you cannot have lakhs and lakhs of rupees, right? So I left my job. I decided to go to 8th grade children, where I was thrown out from my school. Picked up the worst children from Kerala. 90 of them, 45 girls, 45 boys. Decided to make them good. It was in 2010. 2022 now, 37 of them are PG, postgraduates. Some of them are PhDs. So I know you take the worst student, give it to me. I will make them the best. That's my contract. In any sense. Yesterday, after my session in North Bengal University, I was having a conversation with Tunisia. Heard about this place? Tunisia is in the north part of Africa, very close to West. So they speak French. The 12th class children don't even understand English. So I was communicating to them in what little bit English I know and what little bit English they know. So I talk to the whole world. They Google and find out who can be connected to speak at any point of time. That's what I do. So I don't almost 24 hours. Whenever somebody wants, you have a problem, open any book. Mathematics students are here. Any chapter, anywhere you open and then ask me questions, I will answer. That's my guarantee. Good enough? You don't understand, you open the book, tell me what chapter you want me to explain, I'll explain to you. That's how I take classes. I was a professor in a university without a department. So I can go to any department and teach. So I taught electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics, computer science, and whatnot. English, environment science, maths, physics, chemistry. Why? Because space science includes all of them. Space science includes all of them.
No, we were including mass communication.
Mass communication I did. I was working in an FM 90.4 in Noida. Eh? I was there in Noida 90. You look at DrTPS FM radio. You will see a lot of programs. Maximum programs in Gulf. Because Gulf radios can also have news programs. So whenever I go to Gulf or even from here, I record and then send it and they will put. Most of the days. It's an environment day, ozone day or disaster day or any day, my talk will be there. When Kalam died, they interviewed me, I posted on to them. So I do that. The book which I gave, there is a beautiful poetry on Kalam. Okay. Kalam, when you rewrite, reverse, it becomes Malak. Malak means, yeah, Malak means this decoration which you give. Oh, I should wear this, right?
No extra photos.
Yeah, Malak means this. So I gave a Malak to Kalam. Who is a Malak? Malak in Hebrew means. Any Hebrew people here? No, then I can courageously say that. Otherwise you will catch me. Eh?
Angel.
Angel, yeah. Great man, yeah. So what I did was, I do research like this. So I'm a linguistic, no jugglery man. I like to put things here and there and then find out. I don't think anybody would have wrote about a Kalam like this. Have you seen anywhere? Google it, you don't get. If at all you get Kalam, Malak, you will land upon me only. Right? No, it comes, it is not made because I wanted to do that. It just comes. We were together, Kalam's one of the best, he has a website and the media person for him was my student. He's a PhD in communication, journalism. So I've got close contact with journalism. So I can connect to most of the departments. One of the easy part of the space department is, it's like you have a lot of vegetables at home. Everything is finished. You can make a mixed vegetable kurma, right?
Yeah.
So space department has got people in every branch. Because he was mentioning about rocket launch. There is physics. There is more chemistry. Right? There is metallurgy. See, Abdul Kalam gave lot of, I am talking about space science. So Abdul Kalam gave lot of inputs to medical science. The reason is, medical science people also require lightweight metals. And in space also we need lightweight metals. Got it? It should withstand all the different conditions. That's also required when it is put inside your body. So what we used to do was, whatever happens in, or mostly that was done by Abdul Kalam. That's why he's great. We share all that what we have. And space department today, maybe after 10 years when you grow, you will not see space department as what is today. Because it's going to be in bits and pieces with a lot of private participation. The other day there was a launch. Right? There is nothing new. What is done in 1970s is what is being done by a private person. But first time a private person is doing it, but they are not totally private, they are all people left from space department. But the space science, don't think that space science as a science. Because the topic is given space science, right? What is science? You're all science students? You get BSc, right? Bachelor of
Sciences.
What is Bachelor of Sciences means? That you should tell, no? You understood what is science? What is science? You don't know? There is a great definition given by a chemistry scientist from India. I want to see, it's like a quiz, I am giving a lot of clues. Who is a chemist? Who was a chemist? He was a health science man, 13th century in India. Anyone? Yeah.
Science may be accumulation of knowledge through observation and experimentation.
Yeah, this is one definition generally given by the West, but India has a different definition that is given by Acharya Nagarjuna. You have a Nagarjuna University today. He has got, Nagarjuna is well known in Nagarjuna medical shops, you will see. Nagarjuna fertilizer, you will see. Because chemistry and biology are closely related. Right? Pharmacology. When I was doing my masters in psychotherapy, I also learned pharmacology. So chemistry and biology together is what the world is going to be. With a lot of potential for, because problems are there. Space also has got a lot of applications in biology. Why people are interested in going to moon? Is it to construct a house there? Because here it is more polluted, there it is less. Or you can have more extended life because you are less problems, gravity is less. No, that is because there are a lot of medical treatments where you need, which can be done in zero gravity, close to zero gravity, you will heal much faster and better. So probably after a few years, when you have medical problem, some new mask will take you, right? Go there, do the treatment and come back. So that will become hospital for India. The moon hospitals, right? So there are a lot of unforeseen applications. But was it only a dream? Yes, it was a dream once upon a time. You know why? That's where I connect astrology. I must thank him now. Because I am doing a lot of research under this title and they are trying to produce some new knowledge. That's why I record. Sometimes my talks are an intuitive style. That's why I am very close to philosophy. So what happens is, the moon is considered as Manakarakan in astrology. You know what's Manakarakan? Manas, do you have Manas? Do you have Manas? You understood what is Manas? You don't have, already given. That's a problem with the bachelors.
Mind and conscious.
Yeah, mind is, where is your mind?
We cannot locate it obviously.
Yeah, that's a problem. See, what you cannot locate cannot be science. But you know that there is a mind. Right?
Either it belongs to the heart or to the mind.
Yeah, where is your heart?
A little
But if you tell the biology people, my heart is my mind, they will not agree.
No, they won't.
Right? So there is a confusion between heart, mind. So I don't use these words. That's why I'm using Indian names. What do you call for this manas? The heart you will put like this. Where do you keep your girlfriend? Tell me that. Or boyfriend?
Nowhere.
No, is it in the buddhi or is it in the buddhi?
In the mobile.
Is it in the buddhi? No, it's not in the buddhi, right? Where is it? That is called the manas. And manas generally we show here because the heartbeat changes when you see the girlfriend or boyfriend. Or you don't see them, it beats more. And sometimes you see them with somebody else's heart face. Correct? So who controls this heartbeat? The same person who controls. I was in Kailash, Parikrama event. So along with me there was a Matoma who was from Japan. So I said, beautiful moon. He said, this fellow who creates wakes in the sea. You understood? So it looks so innocent and so beautiful, bluish. And when you go to Kailash, not like what we see from Kerala. It will be 3 times bigger. So you will be very happy when every day you are getting lunch like this and the other day you get in a big plate. Like that. And I was with full enjoyment, I was telling, what a beautiful moon. He says, no, this fellow creates problems. And that is what is creating epilepsy. That is what is creating a lot of problems, you know. You see asthma people, respiratory problems comes more because your heartbeat changes. Right? And that heartbeat changes because your Rahu. Do you know Rahu?
Rahul.
Rahu Dasha is there. Yeah, Rahu is 2 snakes. And you will see that same symbol in every medical college. Why did they opt the same where the Rahu symbol in astrology came? Because it all deals with health. And who creates this? Where Rahu stands in the moon's position. Where is moon? Manas. So every disease starts with the manas. That's why I became a psychologist. So I believe I can treat most of the people from psychotherapy. It's only a feeling. Feeling cold. I wrote an article long back. Only feeling, no. It's not cold. Correct? We had a great saint called Ramana Maharshi. He was walking barefooted in the hot sun. Many disciples used to ask, are you not feeling cold? It's only feeling. Don't feel, then it's not there. You are feeling dull. You are feeling headache. Actually, there is no headache. In my class, nobody feels headache. But in somebody's class, the class starts headache. When somebody comes with a problem with a headache, I will say, go and see a beautiful movie. Your headache will be delayed for 2.5 hours. Soon after the movie, headache will come. So is it headache or your feeling of headache? So most of the problems are
With manas.
with the manas. Can you prove this? No. Can you experience it? Yes. So we have a difference in science. What we think is what can be experienced is nonsense. Because what experience I have, you cannot experience, right? But it is being sold today in India. I don't know how people can learn meditation. Meditation cannot be learned. I am a meditation master from Himalayas. But you ask me how many people I taught? 0. Because I believe nobody can teach meditation in this world. But still I will write I am a meditation master because that's the most prominent word you have to use, right? But we don't teach. How can I teach you the taste of water? You have to feel it. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So you can reach samadhi by controlling your manas. How do you control your manas? Prana bandhanat. liyate mana. Mana means manas. Manas is
Mind.
where your mother is, where your boyfriend or girlfriend is, where your mathematics is not there. And mathematics is in the buddhi. That's a problem. So how do I make my class passionate? Take that mathematics from the buddhi, put into your manas. Okay. So what is space science actually? I am redefining space science because of the mistake he has committed. What is space now? Space in Sanskrit is called a gham. Space is called a gham. So which department I belongs to? Gham department. What is gham? You understood, no? Ka. Third ka. Gham. When gham is good, you put su behind that. Everything su prefix is called very good. Susmita. That's why Susmita name came. Right? Smile is good, Smita. Smile is too good, Susmita. And your smile is bad, Dusmita. Sanskrit is very simple. Got it? There's so much of meaning inside that. So when you put gham and su, it becomes sukham. So what is space department? Sukham and dukham. You understood? Who deals that? I can tell who is in sukham or dukham looking at the manufacture, the time and date, expiry date. That is what is astrology. So the space where the planets are there, that will give a effect on each birth. That is because you are, by mistake I studied fluid mechanics. The fluid mechanics, one of the most interesting fluid which I like is blood. Not because I am a Rakshasa. The blood is what is flowing. And you know what, when I am standing, the whole blood is not going down. It doesn't obey Newton's rule. Physics, I am talking core physics. You know why? It doesn't obey Newton's rule. Because it obeys capillary motion. Capillary motion is when you put a small narrow, it goes up. So all our veins are capillary motions. So the blood system in our body is full of capillary flow. Therefore the heart is not having much trouble in pushing the blood to the brain. Simply it will go. What a great design. Correct or not? Eh? And this is called blood is also called the fluid with the memory. That is why most of the people are lazy. When you sit, you feel like sitting. When you are lying down, you feel like lying down. From there, getting up is a
Task.
the most difficult problem for most of the people are getting up as soon as you wake up. You wake up, what time? Brahma will call you. 2.5 hours before sunrise. He'll call. Hey, he said, Poda. Go to hell. I am not listening to you. And you keep praying the God, they will also be, they are all their cousin brothers. So they will also the cousin sisters. They will say, God, I am not going to carry. Does it not happen? That's why prayers are not heard. You must hear his. Where is Brahma? Hridaya guhara madhye kevalam Brahma matram. Inside your Hridaya, there is a hole, guha, and inside the guha, there is a Brahma. And who is that Brahma?
Our soul.
I asked a question. If I skip something, that doesn't mean I am not there. I will come back to that after explaining all that. I asked you what degree you get. What degree you get?
BSc.
Who signs that?
Who signs?
Who is signing in the degree?
University.
University cannot sign. No, there has to be some buffalo sitting there and signing. Who signs? The poor vice chancellor, yeah. And you know what he certifies? Bachelor. Ask yourself whether you are a bachelor throughout your 3 years. Tell me. Were you throughout your bachelor's? I saw in the gate Everybody had a pair. Then I understood this college has campus selection. Campus selection happens inside the campus. Correct? See, you have to be bachelor. Late somebody got a spark. Are you in NCC? Then you should get instant in it. I was a C certificate holder. I was in Republic Day Parade. I had a feast with Indira Gandhi. I'm also in the NCC. I started in NCC, ended up in Combined Defense Services. You should have spark immediate, spontaneous. That's what should happen. So, Brahmachari, that is bachelor. Brahmachari in mathematics. Brahmachari in physics. Your Brahman, your creativity runs inside that. How do I know you are inside Hridaya whether you are fit for this or not? Exactly we can tell from looking at how the planetary positions influenced your blood flow, because blood is a ferromagnetic fluid. Blood is a ferromagnetic fluid, and water in the sea is a halide ferromagnetic fluid. It has got two more rings. That's why the waves are coming when the moon is coming and going. So can't you imagine how many waves will come inside you? And when the waves comes, don't you think your heartbeat will change? When the heartbeat changes, your manas will react. The manas reaction comes only in 3 times. When you are in hurry, when you are in worry, when you eat more curry. And the biochemistry can change externally and internally. And the external is less from the food, but internal from the mind, if I wanted to call it in English, but otherwise manas. The manas is more. So who influences you more? Your manas. I am not telling this. Look at Bhagavad Gita, the center of Bhagavad Gita. What is the great message? Uddhared atmanatmanam atmanam avasadhir atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Your enemy is you, and your friend is you. So how do you make your enemy and friend together? And the biggest, that's what I spoke. I have uploaded both videos of last 2 days. I process myself, I am a multimedia processor. So I do myself on the same day my lecture and upload, then only start the next lecture. Right? This also will come tomorrow. So you can look at what did I mention in the philosophy lectures. So what happens is, you have to lift your. So how do I guide you in that? When you have to drive on the road, I have to tell you, there is a curve in front, therefore adjust your gear. Right? So what is astrology? Astrology is guiding through the path of life. And tell you there is a problem coming to you, be careful. Only that can be done. We can never solve problems. All the pujas, all the temples, all that is not going to help anyone in this world. Including God has no escape from this. What is the time and space production? And don't think it's an Indian system only. It was a traditional Indian system. Whatever happened in India has been duplicated by most of the Westerners. And 22 years back, October, I think that's the time when I gave a lecture on biorhythm. So if you are interested in looking at biorhythm, the Western science, you will know it talks about a similar science. It's not in India alone, because I cannot predict what is going to happen in any science today, right? But depending on the planetary positions, we can. So there are some science inside that. Who started this? It was part of long back. Psychologist was not what you learn in the psychology classrooms. I wish I had a chance to talk to your MA psychology students. I can tell all of them what you learn in general Western psychology is not correct. The first psychologist was, any good guess? What is the first book in this world? Probably today what's available? The first book in this world. Then why you have a before Christ?
Book has printed or not? You have to call.
No. What first book? The first
definition of book.
We have manuscripts. We
Yeah,
have
manuscripts, it can be Purana, it can be Itihasa. Ramayana. Ramayana is the oldest of the oldest. Ramayana. And in that Ramayana, there is a small portion, not a small portion, 80,000 verses. That's a small portion in that. And that's called the Yoga Vasishta. Vasishta is the great saint who wrote about the psychology. And why did he write? Because he found Rama after 12th class, like all of you are after 12th class, right? He had some psychic problem, which most of the teenagers have. The teen to 20, that's the time when you disobey your parents. You don't have trust. You say, my father is not, I don't know how my mother is adjusting with him. So many questions will come, right? So what Dasharatha has done, sent him to a psychiatrist. And the first psychiatrist was Vasishta. There are also he refers, it all depends on the planetary positions. But you can't just, if you are a very good driver, even if there is a sharp curve board, will you stop the vehicle? Will you turn back and go? You have to go further. So, what is the purpose of astrology? The purpose of astrology is to guide you properly. And the whole purpose is for the benefit of people, right? So, what is the definition of science by Nagarjuna? I told you I don't leave. I asked a question. What was the question? What is Nagarjuna's definition of science? Sakshat anubhavaya drushto na sruto na guru darshitaha lokana upakaraya etat sarvam pradarshita. What is useful for human being is called science. That's why psychology is also science. BSc Geography, economics is BA, but BSc Economics is also there. No? So this is only a name, BA or BSc. So don't categorize wherever BSc is there, that's science. Wherever BA is there, that's arts. No. It's all one. Every subject is related. Every subject has got a relation. So we knew as Indians the planetary positions and how planetary positions influence each other. And how it influences each other means it influences Earth also. And all the living beings inside Earth. It is not something which is done by the modern scientists. We have such lot of literature which talks about even universal gravity. Planet to planet, they are all staying in the universe. It is not falling down because Padatvayam Khe. Why is it not falling? Akrishti Shakti Stumahi. Akrishti is gravity. Akrishti Shakti Stu Mahitaya Yat Ghastvam Swabhimukam Shaktya Swabhimukam. Attracting towards it. That's gravity. So every planet is attracting towards it, therefore it has to balance, it cannot fall. So it is not gravity alone. We know the whole universal gravity. And that science is what is called astronomy. Astronomy talks about how the space is and how it is constructed. Every priest, when they go to a temple, when you go, the priest will chant mantra. You will see astronomy inside. Brahmandhanam madhye, that is how they start. In the whole Brahmanda, in the center. Right? Listen to him. Otherwise, give him some more money. Chant once again. Let me record it with the slow you listen. He may not know because he must have been chanting it just like this. A lot of spelling mistake will be there. No, it doesn't matter. I keep saying, Grantham Moonu Pakartinde Muhurtam Mutramai. So you copy 3 times Muhurtam, 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 it will become. Every language it is one and the same. Right? Though I said Malayalam, everybody understood, right?
And she knows Malayalam, though she is from Bangladesh.
Oh, Ami Bangla bolchi.
Yeah, Malayalam parayum.
Good. So, what happens in this world? People just learn by heart. What do you say? Learn by heart. I keep saying learn by heart. You understood the difference? Learn by heart is so mechanical. learn by.
Heart.
So where is your mathematics? Is it in heart? No, it's in buddhi. That is why it takes time. You have a hardware and you have a software. The hardware contains all the stored data, and software, RAM and ROM difference, you know.
Yes.
The software picks it up, immediately the response will come. Right? So where should you keep your knowledge? It's in the software, it becomes very fast. In hardware and software, you can communicate faster, the faster knowledge you have. Otherwise, after the exam, oh, I forgot. I should have written this. Why does it happen? Because immediately that doesn't come to you. That is a practice which you should have. Correct? Whether you have this or not depends on your planetary positions. But is it that tells in astrology, oh, I am like this, manufactured like this, nothing can be done? No, there are shortcuts. What is to be done? How do you change this? From sukham to dukkham, dukkham to sukham. Very simple, small, narrow differences. That can be easily done. I can go on and on this, but I am sure when he gave the topic, he never thought this is what I am doing. Correct? The space science, we have three categories. One is rocketry, PSLV, ASLV, GSLV. ASLV is augmented programs, experimentations. PSLV is polar. The Earth, from pole to pole when it goes around Earth nearly 14 to 16 times, taking pictures on of the ground. That's why the Google pictures you are seeing, because it's close to Earth. When I joined Department of Space, 800 to 900 kilometers was the height of the satellite. Almost when I retired, it became 500. Why? Not because that satellite came down. We are able to manufacture satellites with a lesser weight, therefore we can keep it closer to Earth. The resolution become better. Everything can be seen. Right? So every culvert is seen, the drainage pipe is leaking, we will know whether it is leaking from Space Department. Whether your paddy field is watered or not, we can do it from there. We do that from image processing. So space has become for intelligence, town planning, agriculture, whatnot, everything. That's all done by IRS, Indian Remote Sensing. Professor Das was mentioning INSAT. In Indian, SAT is satellite. Very simple. That's Indian satellite. What is Indian satellite? Indian satellite is always look upon India only. It will not go around. But it goes around because Earth itself is going around, right? So as the Earth goes, that fellow also will go. Got it? So if my Earth is here, where India is here, my satellite will be always moving along with the Earth. Same speed as the Earth. 24 hours. 365 days around the sun. Satellite is almost like stationary. That's why it's called geostationary. INSAT. Otherwise what will happen? I will say Namaskaram to somebody from Guwahati, and when it comes to Kerala, satellite goes, finished. Cannot. So all telecommunications are based on INSAT. When it takes a picture, the whole India has to be seen, not India alone. I want to predict the weather here, I must know nearly 1000 kilometers this way and that way. So we have got almost 6000 kilometers radius. 6000 kilometers radius. India is only 6000 kilometers from south to north. So we have a large area. So we can also support Arabian countries. And what do? We also take the help of, sometimes INSAT is failing. We don't have sufficient satellites. We will take ArabSat help also. And earlier, how when you were booking a trunk booking earlier, BSNL, you have to book a call and it is to America. Actually, the call will have a delay. That is because from India, the message goes to our INSAT. From there, it goes to Hong Kong. Hong Kong receiving station will put to another satellite. From there, it goes. So you can see it's like a triangle for, and it goes to America. By the time there will be a small delay. Correct? But today, nothing is happening. Satellite is not being used for any of these communication because fiber cables are used. But satellite is used for, I think, risk and alarm. You don't have sea
Disaster warning.
disaster warning. So what happens? The ship itself is manufactured in which when the ship is sinking and when people are shouting, automatically there is a mission which will tell the satellite, I am here, save me. You don't have to tell because you cannot tell the satellite, right? The mission will tell based on your cry. Got it? And immediately the country which is nearest to that will get a warning and those people will come. So they work very internationally with a lot of collaborations. So space science is not a country's job, it's an international job. It's also used for good purposes and bad purposes. It all depends on, like a weapon what you have, you can use it for both. So one is INSAT, one is IRS, and in between, if you want to take something to the space, assume I have to throw. Yeah, beautiful, no? I have to throw with a stone. Do I stay here and throw like this? No, nobody throws. Why? Yeah, I know. Not even the not falling on your head is not my problem.
It might not
Right?
reach.
Yeah, see, always easier to send through a trajectory motion, right? So what do? I stay a little away and I can use a force and then throw it. Suppose from this place is called Jalpaiguri? Siliguri. From Siliguri, I have to throw a stone to Kerala. With the full force, no. The force is little less, what will happen? It will go and fall in Andhra Pradesh. Little more force, it goes to Kerala. Little more force,
In Sri Lanka.
go to Sri Lanka. Little more force,
Into the sea ocean.
little more force, where it will go? Outside the Earth. So you understood how the satellite is being launched? It is never launched. Don't think that no satellite is launched like this. It's always launched from our place with a trajectory motion. Right? So it falls outside Earth. And outside Earth, how much you have to throw? Where your atmosphere is not there. Atmosphere is where it is being dragged to you. How much is your atmosphere?
Troposphere, stratosphere.
Avaha pravaha uddhaha stada varipurvaka vahau. I know Sanskrit, but I don't know. Yeah, 140 kilometers. What is told by the traditional Indian knowledge? Avaha pravaha uddhaha stada varipurvaka vahau. Looks like a prayer chanting in the temple, but these are all science. These are all astronomy. Is it not astronomy? The layers of earth and how much it has to go. All that is part of our prayers. So astronomy was part of our prayers. And that will tell you it has to go out of 140 kilometers. Then it will not fall on Earth. It will go and stay in an orbit where the universal gravity will tell based on the weight where it has to stay. So my satellite, if it is less, it will be closer to Earth. If it is little more, it will be up. Otherwise I have to throw it with a escape velocity so that it goes out of Earth and it goes to 36,000 kilometers. That is where INSAT is. And all the GPS is at 20,000 kilometer height. The beauty of GPS is so many satellites are there. So one satellite is there, another satellite is there, not in the same plane. It's in a different plane. Right? Suppose from there I draw a sphere. Are you able to draw a sphere? Or maybe take an example of a circle. I am in a plane first. From here, 3 meters. Only that much I know. Because your antenna will tell you, this satellite is 3 meters away. So what I do? I draw a circle. From the other satellite it is 2 meters. So the cross section of 2 circles can be 2 points. So it will tell you either you are here or here. In a sphere what will happen? It will become a circle. The intersection becomes a circle. So I need one more point where another circle will intersect. Then I know, oh, this is here and there. 2 places are possible. And I know I am not this part of the world, I am not in the other part of the world. So I know, oh, this is where your place is. That's how the GPS is giving you the location. Right? At any point of time, I need lot of GPS to see my mobile. How many such are required? The first American people started GPS, Russians started GLONASS, and India started now Google. So all of them together will start giving you the locations where you are precisely. That precision depends on how much accuracy they will give you their location and distances. Earlier it was for military. So if you look at space science, most of these space science applications were for military people. That is true with every department. Have you heard about electrical engineering, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, right? And there is another engineering. Engineering is for civilian people. Rest of them were military people. That is why that is called civil engineering. If I go to many colleges and ask civil engineering process, why is it called civil engineering? Out of syllabus. We never studied this in syllabus. The reason is all the other engineering were military purpose. One, you need to construct a house, drainage, that is required for every civilian purposes. But today electronics is also being used by all of us. So what happens in military is what happened in civil later. So most of the development in space science happened from the first space. We wanted to have the view of what is happening in the other part of the country. So what was done? In a balloon, camera was kept and then sent. Right? And then we had pigeons which can be fitted with a camera. The pigeon will fly and then take picture. And then tell, that can be done even today. And we restrict all that, you cannot fly. Even drones cannot be flown without a permission, right? I keep saying that is because we have more of open toilets and bathrooms in India. That's not the reason. If you are a developed country, drones are not restricted because. So the space did not start with a lot of great space. What we can do is we can stand on top of a building and take pictures. That's called a panoramic camera, right? And take that picture, but all those cameras will have a metric quality. What is metric quality? Inside that I will have a lot of lines which says inside my lens this much is the distance. So take a projection, it's full of mathematics. Triangulation, it's called triangulation. I know the distance from that point to this point, other point to this point, the other point to this point, 3 points are not, and these locations are located, then the rest will happen. What happens in astronomy? I know the location of Earth, I know the location of a different 2-3 planets. I will fix them as my coordinates. Then the rest of the planets, from the distance I can measure where it can be seen, when it can be seen. That computation will give you a lot of details about astronomy. So astronomies are all predicted computations. And who is the best astrophysics man? When you talk about astronomy, astrophysics man in India today, which is the best center for that? Pune University. Yeah, Pune University. And who is the head of that? Basant Narlekar. If he would have been not in India, in America, he would have become a Nobel laureate today. I had the opportunity to listen to him, not on astrophysics or astronomy, how to build an institution. I was the first employee in my office as direct recruiter. So we had responsibility of building up an institute. So don't think that being and if you read Hindu continuously, you will see few articles from him. And you will see the beautiful English. Right? So most of the, don't think that space people know about astronomy. We have, I told you about rocket, putting satellite there, looking at it. Professor Das mentioned all that what the Department of Space does. In America, astronomy and space department is together. NASA is like that. But in India, we are putting satellite there and we look at the satellite. Satellite information will come to Hyderabad. Near Hyderabad, there is a place called Shadnagar, where we have a big antenna. It will receive all the informations like maps. So I know Bangladesh, why it is flooded, how is it flooded, how the boundaries are changing. One village boundary last year was not this year because the river is the boundary. One flood comes, the village will go to the other district. So these are all problems. It can go to another country also. So I was looking at all that. So applications of satellite image is what I did. Keeping satellite there is another science. But there also we know very little. What is astronomy department? They stand on the ground, look at the star and the moon and the spaces. If you want to know, I had great students who learned so many things and then used to teach me. So I learned from my students. The more students interact with me, I learn a lot. And some of them are great students. Right? I learned many things from my students. So they are my teachers. In the beginning I teach them, the rest they will give me a lot of information. So I am sure I don't have to know, but as a general knowledge, I know astronomy. Correct? And the whole space is not being explored by Indians. We have only a very limited space where we can keep satellite and such things. Otherwise, astronomy department in Pune under Narlekers probably is one of the best place if you are interested in learning astronomy. Right? So I gave a panoramic view, a space view of what I thought I wanted to speak. I spoke more than an hour. It's cruel, yeah? Good enough? Yeah? No, but you asked me what you want now. Now you know what is available here inside. You can excuse me now. Rag me now. Harass me.
I missed your answer probably to my question as to what made you to take voluntary retirement. Could you
See,
say just
one
what
reason
led
was
to it?
I was with the PM's office.
Okay.
We externally work for PM's office applications. Probably Veerappan's. I gave the map. For Rajiv Gandhi assassination, I identified the person because it's all image processing. Whatever we use in image, see the earth is moving, satellite is moving, that means somebody is running with a camera, object is also running. So I know how to process and get the details out. When somebody blasts, I can get the details even if it is blurred, right? So I do such. Image processing is my expertise.
You were doing that.
I will. And Kargil war, all the maps were given by me. My own hands have given maps. So Kandahar, we had a flight. No, flight was hijacked. So how to reach there to escape? I gave the map. So that was my expertise, by which I got into Prime Minister's office. But they were absorbing me. Once I get absorbed, I cannot never see you in my life. I cannot see children like this. I cannot walk around. I cannot go around the way I want. I opted, 20 years is good enough. Then I thought I must go around and talk to children, learn and talk to them. So I am enjoying my free time.
So when did it, that was the
2009 I took my retirement.
So this idea of that you had some other kind of mission in your life.
That I started in 2000 itself.
When did it dawn on you? And
Yeah.
what was the context?
From 2000 to 2009 I did it as part-time. And that came because fortunately or unfortunately I was a keen learner of different things. See, for example, we had from Hyderabad the train goes to Shornur. I have to wait 3 hours to get a northbound train. Shabari Express only one day, and from there the Malabar side there is no train, so I have to stay there. When I was getting 900 rupees my JR of money, I used to buy 300 rupees book from Kerala railway station and read that 3 hours. So I was a wild reader, not a wide reader. No, read everything and anything what I can. So I landed upon many subjects like Vastu, astrology, thinking that these are all related to maths. So I started learning such things. I was called in many places to give such lectures. Bhagavad Gita, I started to teaching probably early 2000. Then I thought I have more demand outside than inside. Right? And this, anybody can sit there and do it. But what I am doing, I can only do it.
Thank you, I got my next question is, you mentioned from your work that you are doing, you could track, for example, the killer of Rajiv Gandhi. Suppose there's a riot in a place. Does the organization have the ability to track who all are causing the riot?
See, there are a lot of intelligence. One of the intelligence is human intelligence. Ground. There are a lot of people. Every part of this country here, there will be at least many people. Right? They also report. I was part of that such meetings every Wednesday. During my time, we had a meeting. That involves lot of agencies. And they will tell what is. That is ground. But we are supposed to validate whether they are using some telecommunication by telecom department. There are some telecom experts. And there are some satellite experts. What do we do is assume that you have to make some people to get some items, you need to have a road. And there is a bud which is required to make a waterfall to get an electricity. So is it for civil purpose or some other purpose? Is it open for everybody or is it for a specific purpose? These intelligence is what?
Yes, sir. So I got that.
It's a combination of all that.
I got the answer. Now I'm taking that too. So which means the RAW or ISRO or the PMO office, etc., who is processing the information that is coming
Every
in,
moment, every-
and even with regard to human space and human
Every-
activity.
every-
And if with that knowledge, still what is projected to happen, let's say next day, in terms of human right, is known, and yet action is not intervened, that means could we come to the conclusion that it is a calculated or protracted or allowed to happen, right?
No, something always assume that I have to put some a lot of military people here tomorrow for a purpose. There has to be a series of activities happening so that tomorrow I can come. So some things are allowed to happen, some things are made to happen. Suppose, these are all high intelligence activities. See, assume that I want to make some actions in Kerala. What I have to do is I have to send them leaflets in terms of Naxalite saying that no, something is happening here. That leaflets could be printed by police fellow also. Don't ask too many questions. I'll come to your room.
No, I made my point. Thank you.
Understood.
I follow you very much. And in one of your interviews, you have mentioned in astrology. In the interviews of astrology, you mentioned that.
Why did you see that? Introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry. My name is Krishna Sharma. I am from physics department first sem. So I follow you much, and I have seen most of your interviews. And
You should comment. See, if you don't comment, you have a beautiful lunch, and after that, you don't tell even a thank you. Doesn't look good, right? I could it for you.
sorry, sir.
No, sir. You have not seen my videos. If you have seen, you will never call me sir. Because every time I keep saying, don't call me sir. I am not a British given sir. I love to have a Sir Isaac Newton, Sir C.V. Raman, Sir DrTPS. Which is beyond the top.
But sir, that will create a problem. Then you'll have to do away with the guru also. Then you will have to do away with the guru also.
Not necessary. Guru has a great meaning. Sir was a title given by British. So that has a great tradition.
Yeah, but that's coming from a cultural context.
Yeah. So what is done is the prefix has been given to suffix.
This homology of the other point of my difficulty is when you do we have to go homologous.
Yeah,
Every word that we use.
Everyone has an option.
Yes, within a cultural matrix. So
100%.
when we superimpose one cultural matrix with another.
If I am in an office, holding the office, somebody call me sir. Every military fellow has to call me sir because that is the strict protocol. I am your grandfather. I love that more, right?
I am actually.
Well, how do you call your
I'm
grandfather?
actually confused. Oh.
Azurba.
Huh?
Azurba.
Azulba is grandfather.
Anyway, allow me to
Yeah,
ask you a question.
continue.
Ask you a question.
He is
Actually, I am feeling a bit uncomfortable without saying sir.
I know.
In our astrology, we say Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Shuta Budhascha Gurushcha Shukra Sani Rahu Ketava. Right? So
Kedare
Sani-
Namaha.
Yeah. Rahu Ketava. And in your some of your interviews, you have said that this Rahu and Ketava, they are the virtual planets.
Ecliptical
Yes,
planets.
sir. But the thing is that how these virtual planets can influence our lives.
That is because when you have assume that there is a solar or lunar eclipse,
Yes, sir.
you are hiding one of them and the shadow comes to you.
Yes, sir.
Now during that time, the electromagnetic energy, the way in which it is spinning around us, which is creating energy, there will be an immediate shift. We call 3 sandhyas: early morning, evening, and noon is also called sandhya. That time, it is not very comfortable with the vibrations of the electromagnetic energy around you. Right? You understand there is a magnetic energy for Earth. Whenever there is a magnetic energy, it is rotating with fast, there has to be an electric energy. So there is an electromagnetic potential around all of us. That influences us. So automatically there is a change, it starts creating problems to us. So during eclipse, that's why people say don't eat, don't go out, don't expose yourself. So many restrictions are created out of it. That is the reason. And how do you know when is it there? That is predicted through astronomy. Astrology tells you what should be done, what should not be done. That's like a diagnosis and prescription. Astronomy is like your parameters in your blood, and it goes to your doctor. Doctor will tell you what is to be done, right? So the astrologer's job is to look at your parameters, look at the positions, look at present positions, how your body is affecting with those. That's how it is done. Got it? And there are prescriptions given. You use different stones so that you can normalize something. Most of them are bogus. Most of them are bogus. That's all making money. Okay. But you can do it much better because when you are conscious about it. How do you become conscious? That is why some chantings are given. Without knowing you chant, it may not have any meaning. So if you know the meaning and then do it, it is much better.
I believe Pratik sir.
Yeah. Louder. He can shout.
Sound is.
Firstly, sir, it is an honor to attend this lecture.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Myself, Pratik Thapa. I read somewhere that this line from the Hanuman Chalisa, Yug Sahasra Yodhan Par Bhanu, Lilu Kahi Madhur Phal Janu. So it gives the approximate distance between the sun and the earth, 15 something crores. Is it true, sir?
योजनानां सहस्रे द्वेषदे द्वेष योजने एकेन निमिषार्धेन क्रममाण नमस्तुते. See, most of the god and the chantings are all from Purana Itihasas, but they all originated from the Vedas. So this what I chanted is from the Veda, right? So you take the Veda, it is already mentioned there, which is every priest will chant. Have you seen the India tourism advertisement? They will take some water and then pour it back. Are they crazy? They do like this, cleaning the water. Is it possible clean the water and take a dip? Possible? Water cannot be cleaned like this because again it will come back, right?
Yeah.
But it is to make your hand to touch the water so that you feel the temperature so that you can take a dip. It's all biological. Your body should not get a shock. It should not get a shivering. It is done in bathrooms also. If you have not studied your geography in the classroom, in the bathroom, Gange cha Yamune cha Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidham Guru. So you take water in your hand so that I know. Have you seen you take a bucket of water, put too hot. Immediately you will put again, not that hot. What happened? Immediately the water. That is because when that hand is inside the hot water, the body knows the temperature of the water. Immediately body adjusts itself for the temperature. You may measure your temperature, put your hand, measure your temperature. You will see your body temperature can raise up and down very fast. We are able to get small adjustment. Rishis were able to get great adjustment. That is why without any dress, Himalayas, our sannyasis are roaming around. Got it? So these are all what for? The chanting is not important. Understanding the science inside is important for science people like us. So what I did is I looked at most of the slokas, understood what is the meaning around it, how is it going to help all of us. If it is not helpful, it is not science. It is helpful, it's science. So there are some good things and there are some probably which we could not explore so far. If it is not at all useful for human being, do you think those chantings of millions of years will be in our homes? Nobody keeps anything useless in us, right? So we should believe there is some benefit and some guna for that. That's only what we have to do. Understood? So it's not that sloka which is important. I am giving a generic answer for you. It is the yojananam sahasre dve shate dve jayojane. This is the great definition. That is prayer. This is science. From this science they made a prayer. Right? What is the prayer science here? Yojananam dve shate dveja yojane. 2202. How much is one yojana? As per Indian National Science Academy, it is 12.11 kilometers. So multiply 2202 multiplied by 12.11 kilometer. That much distance, oh sun, you are coming. In what time? Ekena nimishardhena. Half of a nimisha. What is half of a nimisha? The time taken, no, nimisha is not 1 second.
To blink.
The time taken to blink.
blink
Or the time taken for a sharp needle to go through one petal of a lotus petal. That time is called 0.14 seconds. Divide that. What you get is the velocity of light. So distance is given, time is given. Any physics fellow immediately will find velocity, right? It's not exactly what is defined by the modern science, but much closer to that. Good enough? It's all science. See, you go to some temple, you will see ekam cha, dasham cha, sadam cha, sahasram cha, ayudam cha, paridam cha. What does it mean? Every mathematics fellow is learning this.
Values.
Arithmetic progression. Ekam cha. No? Geometric progression. Ekam cha. No. What did I say? Ekam cha, dasham cha. Geometric progression. 1, dasham, shatam, sahasram, ayudam, prayudam, kaidam, and the priest knows up to 10 power 42 he can chant. And you look at the other Western world, they have only 1000, then 10,000, then million, billion, trillion. Then they can only add a billion, trillion. But we had names up to 10 power 47. Right? And arithmetic progression. Ekachame, trishyastame, panchachame, saptachame. He will be chanting like this until he is tired or got enough money in his pocket. The problem is while chanting, his thoughts are not in arithmetic progression, geometric progression. As you are studying your job, how much salary only, you will think you are not enjoying it. But the person who has written has enjoyed it while writing. Correct? So you are learning for getting a job. He is doing this for getting a pocket money. That's it, bribe. These are all bribe to reach the goal. It's all stupid, useless actually. I am not a religious person. I don't go to any temple except for lectures. They call me for a lecture, I will go there also. Correct? But what is the science behind it? If you look at it, you will see ekachame 1, trishyastame 3, panchachame, saptachame, navachame, ekadashachame. You can understand this was written when second alphabet in our mother tongue is the answer for all this. What is your mother tongue second alphabet? Listen to lecture. Good enough. When somebody asks question, second letter. So when it is written, that's the answer for most of our timelines.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
My name is Raj Kusargama. I'm from Physics Department, 3rd semester. My question is actually kind of related to Father Rector's question.
Yeah.
So I make music in my free time and I read.
I love music.
I make music.
He loves music, you will make.
And
I know the science of music. Yeah, continue.
in my free time, I like to write about murder stories, most probably related to serial killers. And I know I might sound like a psychopath.
No, most of the writers are.
Actually, I might think I am, but okay, sir. To know about such things, I also like to read about CIA declassified files. The files that they declassify. And in one of them, I was reading about that the USA in Pentagon, they were ready to bomb a city so that it would look like another country, like Bahamas or other country that it planted on them, and so that they have a reason to attack that country. So it's like a false alarm type of thing. So in another day, I was reading about that there's possibility that the Pentagon lost like $1 trillion, and the very next day 9/11 happened. So it's like, what's the relation in between that?
I have no idea. She knows business much better.
So I mean, like,
She's from USA.
so like, would government be ready to?
I'll tell you, Americans are very good in business. They know how to do business. They know how to do business by doing many things around. And they do many false stories to create attraction from the whole world. Right? In space science also, they make a lot of movies and then say that they landed in moon. Many of the other countries' space science people don't believe that.
Yeah, that is true.
So far, nobody landed.
Yes.
If you look at moon hawks, you will see that.
Yes.
Right? When we had space conferences, there were many people from European, German, stalwarts in space. They will come and say, there are some people in this world who claims that 50, 60 years back they landed, but after that they couldn't even reach closer to that. Hope we will be able to land in another 10 years. They will be still dreaming how to land after 100 years. They keep saying, but they can do it because they have a lot of money. So you look at global warming, which is the most hottest subject, and many people started many programs of. I remember when I was called for a conference in Kerala by the left thinkers. He was calling me left. So Kerala left thinkers. They are CPI, not EM. So they had a conference in which I spoke that global warming is a fake. Many years back. Because the global warming became famous because the inconvenient truth. If you have not seen that movie, see that movie. Okay. Who made that? Al Gore made it. Who was Al Gore? Not a scientist, not an environmentalist. He was vice president for America. So they make movies as per the government rules. Propaganda. And out of which you will see from Meghalaya somebody writing an article on how beautiful that movie was. I am 100% sure nobody will be there in Meghalaya when you go and look at them. It will not be there. So they make a lot of fake stories. Beautifully, British television created another set of stories. The Great Global Warming Swindle. You understand the word swindle? The false story. So if you look both, you will be, I'm sure if you are a scientist, you will be more close to the global warming swindle and not the most propagated movie, which also an Indian had a small role in that, who was later half Nobel Prize, but somebody wanted to take it back and there was a lot of controversy around him and all that. He was IPCC chairman once. Right? So it's all politics. Right? As long as you agree, they will take you in good books. If you don't agree, they will show you at the end of the world. That's it. So America is very good in that. There was a time when Russians and Americans were really in tug of war in many things. Even why the greatest space exploration scientist of today in America have to have lot of troubles in America because he purchased many things from Russia. His rocket manufacturing technologies are not from America. He purchased from Russia. USSR was one of the most strongest nation. I used personally many of the data which they were hiding inside USSR. When USSR got into small bits of pieces of countries, they had lot of archived data of every country. It inside their almara, and when they become poor nation, they sold everything, and that was hot because that was most beautiful images of every part of our country. You know how did they take? They had small space labs moving around Earth to take much better pictures than any other country could imagine. They could load a camera, send it to there, get it back, reload it and send it by Russians. And that strong country, America and Russia had always this tug of war. And India was very close to, India is a very, very diplomatic country. We know how to adjust with everybody, right? Because we have a lot of problems at home, we know how to adjust with lot of in-laws and their mother-in-laws and father-in-laws and all that. So we are good in not treating them really good. That's why we are surviving. So you can take good stories. Probably you should go to America and stay there. I suggest you to join for some master's program there and then do a PhD there, so you will get. Which you are physics, right? At least 3-4 universities I am in contact. I was telling the principal I can get some few children if you are there. Collaborative research, you can.
We have
wonderful.
He's from Nepal.
Wonderful. Go abroad.
He's from Nepal.
Nepal.
A lot of gun violence.
It is the, I travelled through all your Nepal area. Himalaya we have to go to Kailash, we have to pass through Nepal only, right? The Friendship Bridge. I hold Nepal close to my chest. This Egamukhi is from Nepal.
He's a really a monkey.
Yeah, it's really a he should only want it. Better come here. Run and come. Come now. Come. Run.
Come closer.
Run. This is how people run here. We have a different name for this. My English is bad, Robert. You come here. There is a camera kept, so your picture will come. Good. Nice.
You do like you already posted.
Come. No problem. Speak. Yeah, speak. So
You have talked about the relation between astrology and astronomy, and I'm very much intrigued by your lecture. I want to know more on the split between astrology and astronomy, why the current scientific literature and the scientists negate it. Like I would quote from the book Cosmos by Carl Sagan. He mentioned Jonas Kepler was the last astrologer and astronomer who could see the link between it. And there is also a variation of the astrological model. It was geocentric, which was till the time of Ptolemy from the Alexandria. And so I want to know why is that the split? Is there some politics behind it? And why should?
There is no politics. What happened to us? Astronomy is a science, but astrologers were nonsense people. So it never went together. They never learned the science of astronomy. Right? They only know how to predict without knowing anatomy, without knowing biochemistry, without knowing the pathology. So therefore what happened? Most of the predictions went wrong. So what happens in India? Assume that I predict what happens to you after a few years. It doesn't happen. You will say astrology is wrong. You will never say astrologer is bad. When you go to a doctor with a disease, the medicine is given to you. You are not cured. You will not say medical science is bad. You will say that doctor is bad. You should have same stand everywhere, right? So what you should do? You should throw all the astrologers out. And all the people who learned real science. That's why I said I learned astrology because most of the predictions, that's why I started. Most of the predictions in my life was not correct. Then I have to do a research to learn this. And then there was a time when I used to go for lectures in some places. The boss will take me and say, my daughter is very beautiful, but she is not getting married, what to be done? I said, give her time and date. Immediately I take the horoscope and then say, her neck is little longer, so it doesn't look that great. So what should be done is you can put a high neck blouse and then present her, she will get married. See, you should have not asked. See, I can say from pathology, you have this disease, parameter is this much, is not good. As a doctor, I am supposed to give solutions. That is where I migrated from, not astrology, have this problem, what should I do? I learned my psychology, added solution to what I can do. So I give solutions to problems, right? So astrologers fail in giving solutions. Once upon a time, in bank, maths were not used. So they will say, oh, you don't know maths, you get a job in bank. But today, without maths, you cannot get a banking job. Correct? Because they did not understand logical reasoning, analytical skill, mathematical ability, which I taught in one of the universities. My paper was campus to corporate. How do you get your students to corporate jobs? So it's full of mathematics. What do they study? They get a job in bank also, you should know a lot of that, right? So the astrologers are mostly unqualified. So therefore people addict no value. But still, I'll tell you, as long as the world exists, when there is no mission which you can predict the future of somebody. When somebody comes, I don't believe in astrology, I'll say, your knee is paining. No? How do I know? Yeah, your horoscope says Rahu is in your knee, you should have. You have headache. No, I don't have headache. Yeah, then you are a dangerous fellow. You are creating headache for others. See, one of these things, if you don't get the headache, what you will do? You create headache for others. If you don't do work and you are the head of the institution, what you will do? You will create work for others. Some of these has to happen. Correct? So how can you say this? Only, this doesn't say that. It tells you the head is bad. How do you interpret depends on my management skill. So an astrologer has to be a overall knowledgeable person about everything around. Otherwise his predictions becomes wrong. And most of the people, they don't get any job, they start doing it. So it happens. So I worked with many astrologers to learn how do they do, what are the tricks they use, how is it coming. I am a person who goes and sit with them as if I don't know anything and look at them. When I want to learn psychology, I will go to an eye specialist and see how the patients will react to the psychologist. No, the doctor will ask you a lot of questions. Are you able to see? A knowledgeable person will say, no, I am not clear. The 3 times he will ask you to put. The doctor says, illeducated fellow, uneducated fellow, it is easy to check your eyes. Because when you get educated, you have doubt on everything. Even the doubt on your doctor, no? So what do? You test him other than you get him tested. These are all problems. Learn. The best method is to learn. You have to learn. She has.
Yeah. Basically, 3 questions. First being, you mentioned that you used to work for the Raw. So now, according to when we have this concept that is created by cinemas right now, when we say Raw, CIA, and then we see Priyanka Chopra, Quantico, yeah,
Kamala Hassan's
yes, Dashaktaram. When we see, it creates an image that Raw are for very good-looking people and all. Yeah. So, but we want to know, is there any very dark side of Raw? Because we hear these stories, once you work for Raw, it all stays there and then you cannot speak about it outside. That's
For 7 years, there is a cooling period.
Yeah.
See, earlier when I was part of the department, I could not even go here. Somebody will come do that. My telephones cannot be used. So many problems are there. Even when I go abroad, in the hotel, when I go somewhere some program, by the time I come, the whole bags they will check. Somebody will be there because it's all internationally known. Sometimes we go, I did not go, but some of our colleagues go with a different name, with a different department, as a private employee. So many people go at a different, as a casual labor. All that is part of different intelligence part.
And then I can see it's chairman of Shiksha Hyderabad. Is this Shiksha connected to the 90 students that you spoke about?
Yeah, I had many programs. Shiksha actually is a small organization which website is created by her. And then DrTPS Shiksha, when we were doing a lot of programs at home. We had a program which is called Shiksha Holiday Program in Hyderabad. Whenever children don't want to go to the college, they come. There is a strike, what they will do? They start from home, no college, they come to me. So I get different students from different branches. And they will keep learning most of the subjects what they want. So that's how I learned most of the subjects and say, you ask anything I can answer. Because most of the students from different branches will come ask questions. We will have drama there, music there, everything in it. And we will go for climbing trees. Somebody says, I don't know how to prepare tea. The first class, prepare tea for me. And if you don't know, I will teach you. And I also have got many students who are aspirants for civil service. I don't train them, I direct them. I believe things should not be trained, it should be done by doers. So I give directions and authored a book called Civil Service Prelims Handbook. The method in which I teach civil service is made into a book form. With the DrTPS you will see. Right? So I did not write. Whatever I taught is being documented as, and all these books are available. So students comes with the civil service. They learn the geography from a specialist. They will come. We did not understand it. I said, we are stuck geography now. So that day class will be geography. Somebody else would have become an electrical engineer who comes. He said, no, you should learn geography today. Correct? You have no escape. Don't tell that I am a physics person. I don't understand what geography. No, cosmology is the whole world, right? In which one of the planets is Earth. So that's geography. Agree or not? How it rotates is physics.
Yes.
So you should know geography, people should know physics, physics people should know geography. Geography also you have latitude, longitude, the time difference between two latitude is 4 minutes. Why? Because it rotates with 360 degree and 24 hours, divide that. So you should know mathematics. This is how I connect. And on the ground when you say you see biology. And when you zoom inside you will see chemistry. And go inside the atom you will see physics. So where is the barrier? There is a beautiful mantra in Upanishad which says Yatha Pindhe Tada Brahmand. As the atom is the universe. Right? The electron spins around the nucleus. In which speed? Same speed as the planet goes around the sun. Yatha Pindhe Tada Brahmand. And who has given this? That's where yesterday I was talking about consciousness. There is a consciousness which makes it, we cannot. Why am I speaking and giving lecture like this? Why are you breathing? Because without the breath you cannot live, right? Without lecture I cannot live. Understood? So these are all, why are we doing it? The answer is, why are we very active? Because I cannot live without being active. So all of you should become very active in life. The biggest problem in India, as Swami Vivekananda said, from your land, laziness. There is only one problem with the people. So I give medicine for that. All of you want? Yes. In my bag. Can I do little business? Yeah, but I will give you free of cost. The free of cost is today night when you go to sleep, take 3 liters of water and sleep. Your laziness will go. Yeah, finish.
No, the last one is being, you said you're connecting astronomy and astrology and you want to see in future this happening. Now, coming from the grounds
Did I
of...
connect somewhere? Are you happy? Did I do something?
Now, coming from the lands of Bangladesh, we used to believe in all these astrologies, and as soon as you're born, since you're a Hindu, it gets written. You get a Kushti name, and then there's a Kundli. Me. Okay, we have this Kundli and everything prepared, and according to that, the future is also told. This will happen if you get married. This will happen if you get educated. Now, do you?
How far it is correct?
I find it all false. Now the thing is, do you see there is a future where astronomy and astrology will actually connect, or is it just going to be the educated and the
No,
uneducated?
if it happens to be a very serious subject of learning, yes. See, I need to know how my car is manufactured so that I can drive well. Okay, so astronomy is a signboard, and my karma, my action, my ability to drive is more important. If I have a bad car and a bad road, I am a good driver.
No purpose.
I can drive. I don't care the road. If you have an airport runway like road and you have a beautiful car and you don't know how to drive, you understood?
It's a
So
waste.
how good is your kundalini doesn't matter, but your karma matters. So most important, what Bhagavan Krishna says. So what we do is, that is where I became a motivational speaker. Otherwise I can say your horoscope is like this, you will never become good. What is the purpose of a motivational speaker, right? So I keep saying, look at somebody whose future was predicted, you will never become anything. I was thrown out of a school, my families were behind saying that no, useless fellow. I wrote, I am useless. I feel everybody should write, I am useless. But I want to make it as a past tense. I am useless.
Yes.
I am going to use Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam Nadu Dhumayubum Cheram. Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam. Be like a spark every moment. Nadu Dhumayudum Cheram. Don't be a smoke in your life. Where fire is inside, it's not able to come out. So what did I do with the Shiksha? Many students will come some program. Oh, somebody comes, I want to make film, nothing is happening. I said, sit down, write the script down. We are going to shoot tomorrow. That's how I make movies. I don't know actually, but I learn. What do I do is, I get a lot of people who wanted to make movies, somebody wanted to make write some songs. We do all that. Somebody wanted to learn history, immediately we write. Oh, very difficult to remember all the Prime Minister's name. DrTPS Prime Minister, sir. You will see a song. The song is created, immediately we make them to sing, and then that is being posted. So it's all fun. LIFE, live in full enjoyment. LIFE, learn in full enjoyment. That's life. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take one final question.
I mean, you are going into all sort of motivational life and philosophy, but I had one very fundamental question about the geocentric axioms of astrology. The Earth is at the center of the solar system, so this axiom of astrology, now how is it still justified?
It is not. Actually, if you look at the astrology chart, you have got positions of different planets. It's all in terms of angles, 360 degree. So if I am standing from here, from the north to south, when you go around, how is it distributed?
It is not 360 degree in 3 dimensions. It is 360 degree only on a plane.
See, when I project it onto that, it is 360.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
So it's only computed in terms of angles.
Okay.
That's how the astrology chart. It is not. And you will see the places for Guru and Buddha. Sun, Moon, only one position. The rest of the planets you will have lot of duplicate positions.
Okay.
That is to take care whether it is on the up or down. So it's actually in the 3-dimensional space. And that is how it is projected. Most of the people, if you look at what they have written or how do they speak on the televisions, they have very, very less knowledge about how the originally created. So there is a big book called Hora Shastra, right? Similarly, Vastu. You have to look at the lot of Agama Shastra books. It's a huge number of textbooks which is written there. When it comes to astrologers, the predictions and the care what is to be taken, such things are diluted, which is not science at all. So don't listen to astrologers. How it is created, what astronomical reasons and how it is drawn. Now even today, the astronomical computations of different planets at different positions, people give as a chart. Exactly it matches. How do they predict this is for science. But there are a lot of computational errors.
In that case, that means astrology as a subject has reached its aim.
Yeah.
It doesn't move forward.
Yeah.
So it is,
because statistics. Most of them astrology is a statistics.
So I mean that chart, you prepare that chart, and that is the end of the subject, basically.
Which chart? The birth chart.
I mean the projected chart that you are horoscope chart.
Yeah, but horoscope chart is unique for your birth.
Okay.
But the other planetary system moves every day. You have to take a overlap of both.
Okay.
And then only look at the present where the sun is.
No, that is the job of the practitioners. But
Yeah.
as a subject,
As the subject also it is.
it is
Yeah, it is taken.
Saturated.
Yeah.
So, contrary to science, it is stale.
It is not.
Okay.
Okay, I know there have been other questions, but unfortunately we are running short on time. And I think I can say, and I will speak for I think the last
944. Shoot all your questions to me on WhatsApp. As long as BSNL is working, I am alive, you will get an answer. And I will be alive. Another
Yeah, sure.
2053. Another up to 2053 I am alive. November 30.
So we have
944 74 37 948. If you miss DrTPS, I told you no, temperature, pressure second. I was also in top police service and now with the teachers, parents and students, all TPS. Yeah, Google DrTPS. You will get only, and all will have my number, same number. Shiksha is a trust. Shiksha also means you write Shiksha, SHIK, right? You write SHIK. That's my name, Shashkumar. Shiksha
If you would like to get more knowledge for DrTPS, you can just type DrTPS space Shiksha in Google, and the first search link will take you to his website, and also his personal links will be in the website.
Yeah. You had some.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I can say, and I can speak for a vast majority of the audience here, that this was one of the most charismatic and one of the most interesting talks that we've ever had the good fortune to see.
The whole thanks goes to him. It's all because of him.
Thank you very much, Professor Kumar.
Pranam.
I would now like to invite on the stage our Dean of Sciences, Mr. Suvijit Paul, for the closing remarks.